Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to the southern wing of the Stink Bug Works. As many of you know, I used to build guitars, and on my custom-built guitars, I always said that, they have lifetime, mine, free bench work. So, an Indian fellow, and I'm talking the dot Indians, not the feather Indians, bought one of my burnt guitars. Now, I burnt several guitars. That's the ancient Japanese wood finishing technique known as shaosugi-ban. And what you do with shaosugi-ban is you take a blowtorch and you burn the surface of the wood, and then you take a wire brush and you brush it out or brush it off, and that takes all the charcoal off and gets down to the grain, and the grain will stand out because you'll have the soft stuff and the hard stuff. And the hard stuff sort of burns and gets an oily seal on it, and the soft stuff kind of scrapes away but still breathes. So it makes a real cool guitar finish. Anyway, Saish bought one of these guitars, and he called me the other day and said, I want to put some new strings on it and, get it all dialed in again. So he brought it over, and we got to talking, and he lives in Fallbrook. Fallbrook's maybe 18, 20 miles away. Actually, he's closer to Rainbow, so he's on the east edge of Fallbrook, out by Paula Mesa, if you're familiar with that area. And if you're more familiar, it's on Stewart Canyon. So he's got a piece of property there, and he said, I just got done building a pond. Now, I think his pond is about a quarter of an acre, 100 feet by 100 feet. That's enough that I can run some of my smaller boats. So I'm going to go out there this Saturday, and I'm going to take the Ferrari out there and see what it does. I still need to, what do I need to do? I need to connect the steering linkage. I need to put the little tiny Easy Connects on the dummy motor, and there was one other thing I had to do to it. I have to bind the radio and make sure the rotation is correct. I can program the rotation through the speed control, so I don't need to move any wires around. It'll just be programming the speed control. So it's ready to go. And hopefully Saturday I'll take it out there. Still waiting for parts, but I did get this. It's going to be real simple. Big B is going to do a more complex build. I'm going to keep this simple. Now, what's going to happen, the way this lays out, this upper fin from the P is going to go down on this side of the ridge, and this lower wing from the P is going to go down that side of the ridge. So what it's going to do, very possibly, part of the pay and pack, part of this will be on this line. Maybe I can get it to where just the top of that is right below it. Yeah, that might be my best bet. Just because splitting that line, I could apply the graphic over this split and then come in with an X-Acto knife and cut the graphic tape. But we'll have to see. I might be able to put the top of this graphic right at the seam line. And then as long as you use clear tape and not colored tape that I'm so prone to using, it'll look cool. So, Big B's gonna do a working canard. What I would really like to see is a working canard on a boat that could really use it. I don't know if it's going to be that much of a difference maker in this hull, other than just to do it. I mean, part of half the fun of doing this, like the whole point of that dummy outboard motor on the Ferrari, was doing it because I could. And so I think that's Big B's motivation for doing that, is because he can. Now, it's going to take some clever stuff, and I follow where he's going. He's going to cut a canopy in here. Oh, by the way, the Pepsi bottle doesn't always fit, but a Pepsi bottle is shrink plastic. So you can always take a Pepsi bottle, and if you have a way to hold it along all the edges, with some wood sticks or something, you can always heat it up and pull it over a form. Just take a heat gun and pull it over a form, and you can kind of stretch it that way. His fit with the bottle he was using was absolutely perfect, but sometimes they don't fit. But you can heat form that stuff. It does want to shrink up real fast, so if you don't have a hold of it, it goes tiny on you. So, but you can do that with those bottles. I don't have much else to say. I told you about a new pond, told you about the Ferrari. And we have graphics for this thing. Super dirt simple. I have a little stripe along here, this, and we're done. Paint that silver, find a line for here, maybe a black dot on here, although maybe not, and then a canopy. Because of the black in here, I might do a black canopy like I did on the Ferrari, and maybe do the shadowing in gold, because the orange, it'll pick up the orange a little better. So there you go. Until next time, boys and girls, jet out. Come on. Where's the button?